Welcome to Talk Dirt to Me, where two farmers shatter myths and take on the top issues facing America's farmers. Here's your hosts, Logan and Bobby Lee.
2026.
Yes, it's here. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
The computers didn't crash overnight or
No.
anything. For our audience that's old enough to remember the old Y2K scare, yeah, nothing happened. I woke up, it was another day.
I went to bed at 3 o'clock.
This morning?
Yeah.
Holy crap, Logan.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. We,
I was probably taking a leak and going to bed for the second time, maybe about that time.
Yeah.
But,
no, I walked out and took a piss outside. That's my nightly ritual. Even if it's like super cold, I have to walk out and piss outside. Because back here where we are, you know, I can see, I love just, there's no light, what do they call it? Light pollution or whatever. So I can see the sky. And so I usually walk out and take a piss. And yeah, I did that about 3 o'clock this morning. And I went and got in the bed.
so did y'all do something wild for New Year's? And stayed
No,
out?
no. We watched the Stranger Things finale, and then we just watched some stuff. I don't remember what we watched. It was just me and wife and the kids. We watched some stuff. Now, they all fell asleep. We made it till midnight. They all fell asleep on the couch, probably about 12:30. And I kind of was in and out of sleep and watching the Three Stooges till about finally around 2:30 this morning. I was like, all right, we need to start going to bed. So I put the kids in the bed, got Marcy, I got her in there, let her go to sleep. And I finally got in the bed, and now I like scrolled mindlessly on my phone till about 3, and then I went to sleep.
Good Lord. No, we went over to a friend's house, nothing crazy, and cooked
Y'all do the
out.
shrimp bowl?
Yeah. Yeah, you should have come.
He called me, but man, I actually had started cooking. I cooked a huge pot of deer chili. So we just ate deer chili, and I did pop some champagne at midnight.
Well, no, we were about 10, maybe 10:30. It was probably about 10. I was like, all right, it's time to go. And of course, my wife's the social butterfly.
Oh, yeah.
Which I liked everybody we were there with. You know, we were having a good time, but heck, we'd been there since like 6. I was like, all right, time to go.
Yeah.
It took me probably 30 minutes to get her out of there. And then we got home, and shoot, it was probably a little after 11. I had zero desire to see.
Oh, you didn't see the New Year in?
No.
Oh, man.
It saw me in my bed, but
I walked out at midnight with a bottle of champagne, and I popped the cork out, and we toasted. The kids had some like sparkling grape juice, and so we did a little toast at midnight. Yeah. No, I've shared before. I'm a night owl. You know, I like it. I like seeing the early hours of the morning on the flip side, and then I go to bed.
yeah.
But let us know what y'all did. Did y'all have some cool celebration? You know, this is our fun. This is kind of always a cool episode to do because we get to really evaluate
Yep.
ourselves, the show, because we set goals. And honestly, like Bobby Lee, I think the same way. We don't, to be honest, I have to go back and listen to that episode to like, all right, what goals did I set and did I hit them?
Yeah, I'm not that guy that has like my goals on a poster in my office or written on the mirror, you know. And
honestly, maybe we should get that way.
I thought about that too, because I had to do the same thing. A week ago, I went back and listened to that episode, and then I was like, well, okay. And then I was like, okay, I hit some of those goals, and we're going to get into that here in a few minutes. And, you know, some of them I did, some of them I didn't, yada, yada, whatever. But, yeah, I don't know. I've always, and I feel like you're probably the same way. I'm very motivated, you know, driven person anyway. Like, I can't sit still. And so, I don't know. Maybe actually having the goals written there where they're hitting me.
There's
in the
supposed to be
face
some
every day.
science behind that, but yeah.
I feel like that's probably even more true for people that aren't necessarily
as driven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't find myself just sitting on the couch some days not doing jack crap.
Yeah, no, I'm the same.
It's not like.
But on the same token, though, because I'm like, so hyper, you know, trying to always be doing something, have my iron and a bunch of fires and all that. On that same token, though, if I had like it written out, like a strategic plan, it actually might make me more focused.
Oh yeah, more strategy to it where I'm not.
Because I'm like a squirrel or a dog chasing the car kind of thing. Like, you know, I'm always just I'm just going.
Yeah, and then you go a different direction, right? And you don't necessarily, which too, as the year goes on, like I look at some of these goals, I'm like, well, yeah, I didn't hit that one, but it was for good reason because I ended up, my goals shifted a little bit because I was like, I'm better off focusing over here than simply for the sake of being able to put a check mark beside I hit that goal, sacrificing something else. So I mean, like everything, they're meant to be, modified.
They're fluid, gender fluid.
Yeah.
Guys, we want y'all to do a couple of things. We won't do any infantile, mind-numbing droning, as someone commented. I did want to remark on that. So we had a listener, and they've been a listener for a long time. So I had made a kind of joking comment to them at first. I'm like, well, you can't tell on text how that comes across. So then I just said, we'll try to cut back the mind-numbing
well, you can't,
droning.
Some days or nights, and we're actually recording in the day here. That's why we're both sipping coffee. Yeah, we don't have intentions, but we go down a rabbit hole and get off topic a little bit. I think that's what makes us unique or makes the show what it is. But we do have a very specific topic we want to hit on today in terms of the goals.
So I do want to add to the listener that commented that you said you gave us 3-star ratings. You did, and we still have maintained a perfect 5-star rating because our Spotify listeners are so badass that 3-star rating did not knock us down.
Didn't pull the average down off the 5.
Yeah. First, we want you guys to hit that like button, hit subscribe, comment below, let us know what you think of the episode. Also, if you're listening on Spotify, we asked you please hit the follow button. We have a specific number we're trying to hit on Spotify that will really help the show, and we need you guys to hit follow aggressively. If you have a parent that doesn't even know how to use a phone, but they have a smartphone, get Spotify on their phone, go in and click follow on theirs. We need to bump these numbers up on the follows. So
you might be surprised. You might go into their Spotify and see if they already follow us.
Yeah, you might.
That'd be pretty cool.
We are often surprised by some of the people that are like, hey, I listen to your show. So do that. Comment below. And what else do I need to do?
Y'all check out agzaga.com. They've been our good friends for several years. They are still our good friends here in 2026. You can use that discount code TALKDIRT20. $50 minimum order, of course. $20 off that order and free shipping. All the good stuff that you need to get your 2026 started off just right.
Yep. All right. What were your goals? Give us a rundown.
So our goal, my goal specifically for this year.
Well, we got to start with 25.
Yeah. So the goals, those of you that didn't go back and listen to
we got a lot of new listeners.
So in 2025, quickly, one of my goals was to roll 450 rolls of hay. Hit that one. That's an easy one to track.
You did hit that?
Yeah. 465 was my exact number. Yeah. I also, one of the goals I've been doing each year is by the end of the year, so yesterday, technically, as we're sitting here recording, to have only gone through 35% or less of my hay that I had stored up for that winter feeding season. I did not accomplish that. I'm closer to 50%. And there's a few reasons for that. That's kind of one of those where I was like, it's kind of a fluid goal. There's some circumstances. But I always figure if I'm 35% or less, I'm going to have plenty of hay, which one thing that's going to help me out there is we're selling a bunch of calves next week. If all goes according to plan. So that'll cut back on that quite a bit. Too, we had a little bit of we absolutely had a drought. Like pretty much July through September.
Yep.
And so that really not only hurt my overall hay number, even though I hit that number, but then it led us to start feeding hay earlier than we would have normally liked. We're going to be all right. Cows aren't going to starve to death, but I did not hit that goal. Had a goal of a 1.75 pounds average daily gain on our stockers. Did not hit that goal. That one's a little harder for me to track because...
Well, I think didn't you say that one would be kind of a hard one to hit?
Yeah, and we did some things this year, and calves did great, so I'm not even that disappointed. It's harder for me to track it because I know exactly what my purchased calves weigh when I purchase them.
Yeah.
But then whenever I go to sell my group, I'm selling both those calves that I purchased a few months earlier and my home-raised calves. I don't know where my home-raised calves exactly started out because I don't have scales.
Yeah.
An easy resolution to that would be, okay, I get some scales, and I could track it all a lot more. But I'm very confident in saying they did not gain that much overall.
You can go know where some scales are.
Yeah, there's an old set of scales that they work just fine. But yeah, that would be a total pain in the ass to have to haul mine over there, and it's an individual scale, it's weighing one at a time.
You probably should try to just get it off of them.
Oh yeah, but they hadn't used it, and God knows when.
As long as I've been alive, it's not been used.
Which there's much more modern scales now. I mean, obviously those are just old. What's real nice, and there's a few folks around that have them is the big pen you can weigh them in, just like they have at the sale barn.
Yeah.
But I'm nowhere near ready to make that kind of an investment. Also on the stock shares, 2% death loss or less. Definitely accomplished that on our spring group. On my fall group, I did not. We've had a little more death loss.
Oh man,
not extreme. But I'm probably, I had to put the exact pencil to it, but it's going to be more than 2%. It's probably closer to like 4.
Yeah.
Which is not great, but still doing. We're cattle market's good right now. We're still okay there. And then for my YouTube, I had a goal of 75,000 subscribers. Did not even get close.
Really? Where'd you at?
I'm at like 43,000.
Yeah. Where were you?
Oh, I was close to 40,000. Yeah.
Well, you still positive gain though.
Oh yeah, you're constantly getting. But YouTube's a weird platform. Like you can literally have just one video, just
take off,
go viral, and boom. And that's kind of what got me to 40,000 as quickly as I did. Was I had one shorts video that went, maybe at like 2 million views now. But the problem with that, and we've had some of our guests that are big on YouTube say like, yeah, you may have a bunch of subscribers, but they all followed you from one shorts video, and they don't really come back. They're not watching your long form videos, which is really where the little bit of money I make on YouTube comes from.
My channel is a prime example because I've got I have LH Farms YouTube channel that I never post to. And I got like 37,000 subscribers, and I would drop when the trailer broke in half. That video has got, I don't know, several 100,000 views. It did phenomenal. And then I would make another video later. It'd get like 400 views. So I got all this surge in subscribers and then no carryover to the. So, I mean, YouTube is a different monster.
And you don't make money on subscribers.
No,
I mean,
you got to have watches.
If you have 1 million subscribers, you probably get lots of views.
Yeah.
But it's the views that really generate the little bit of income that I get. But yeah, that was my 2025 goals.
All right, sweet. Let's hear 26.
So you want me to go ahead and go into my 26?
Yeah.
Okay. So kind of sticking with some of those same goals, an easy one, I just said, how about we go to 500 rolls of hay this year?
There you go.
Kind of struggle with that because I'm like, I really don't know that I need that much. Never a bad thing to have some extra hay. That one should be pretty easy, I think, if we
don't get another terrible drought.
Right. Well, and hay this year was it's kind of the same struggles you had in row crop. We were so wet, up through the end of June, basically, that I was really late getting that first cutting off.
Yeah.
And then when it quit raining, so I think with just a little better weather and then me being a little better, with like my fertilizing, that shouldn't be too hard to accomplish. The 2% death loss, I mean, that's always a goal. At some point I may just quit putting it on the goal list because that's
just standard.
Yeah. For my YouTube, I'm actually, I was like, I'm going to set up actual views goal. And then I was like, no, I'm not. My goal with YouTube is just to keep doing it.
Well, I was curious because I know half the time you come in, you're like, man, I think I might.
Well, and part of that is because we have some pretty big goals for the podcast.
Yeah.
And when it comes to my day, my week, and where my time goes, I've got, of course, my family, the vet clinic, the actual just farm itself, that all come before anything I do on social media or even with the podcast.
Yeah.
And so then with that little bit of leftover time that I devote to Hurricane Creek YouTube and then Talk Dirt to Me, I guess I'm seeing more potential right here with the podcast. And for me, I feel like I'm gonna have to give from one or the other to the other one. And I feel like in 26, if we get to where we want to be right here, I may have to sacrifice some on my YouTube. And not planning on quitting or anything. Still going to plan on putting out 2 videos a week. But if at some point I say, hey, for us to really focus on the podcast where I need to, I may have to back away from it a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 video a week. So for Hurricane Creek YouTube, just simply not quit doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then personal goals, 3 family vacations. I'm bad about not wanting to get out of town. And I'm also bad about, your kids are only here for a little while.
Yeah.
Today's a perfect example. When I went to bed last night and woke up this morning, I was like, I don't have that much I have to do today. I've seen my wife and my kids for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And here we are, it's nearly noon, and I got to get on the tractor after lunch and put out hay. I'm like, Lord, on a day when I really didn't have much to do, and so getting out of town with them, that's why I go out of town on hunting trips. Cause I barely hunt on any of my farm, land around here, because I'm just like, I need to be doing something. Got to do this.
Yeah.
And so I think I've actually already got one in the works. We're planning, hadn't booked anything yet, but we talked with the wife and kids about it yesterday. It was New Year's Eve. We were all around the house like, hey, we're going to do something on spring break. And we kind of had a family vote on what we want to do. And
going to Iraq.
Actually, neither of the kids really wanted to do this, but my wife and I was like, well, we're going to go do that. Maybe we're going to try to do a ski trip. But
in Iraq.
Yeah. I don't know how the snow skiing is in Iraq.
You could do that in Afghanistan.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. And heck, I don't know. In Iraq, they probably have some mountains somewhere.
Probably.
But I've never been, and really not planning on it. No time soon.
You might pick up some mercenary work while you're there.
Yeah, that might really cut into my time I've spent with my family.
Did you not ever get, what was the old magazine? Soldier of Fortune. Did you ever get Soldier of Fortune? I used to get a couple. Every now and then I would see, I don't know if they still make that magazine, but there used to be a Soldier of Fortune magazine.
Was that just specifically for mercenaries?
It was very geared towards mercenaries. And you could find it at some obscure, like Barnes & Noble, I think. This was been years ago. Probably back when I was 15. I used to see Soldier of Fortune.
Well, just print media in general is just...
Oh, yeah. But, I just remember thinking it was so cool because at that age, I'm like, I might be a mercenary. So, yeah. So, you're not going to do mercenary work while you're out there.
No, just try to get out of town with the family 3 times. And my trips out of town are usually 3, 4, maybe 5 nights. I mean, just because you got other things to take care of. So, yeah. My buddy PJ, I know he listens... PJ, be expecting me to reach out to you more frequently this year if I hit that goal to hold down the fort for us while we're gone. And then kind of my last one is stay off diabetes meds.
Yeah. Well,
just for my health. I was wanting to put a fitness goal out there, but I'm like, man, one year I had a goal of running 500 miles and I hit it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm too busy. And again, it's all about making priorities. So I was like, hey, let's just stay good with my diet and a little bit of exercise I do and keep myself, pretty much a diet alone off the diabetes meds.
I like that because I think people set too lofty a goals a lot of times, especially when it comes to fitness. I got a buddy that he struggled with his weight forever. And it never fails. He would be like, hey, man, I'm starting a new program. I'd be like, oh, sweet, what is it? And he's like, I train 7 days a week, 2 hours a day. And I eat nothing but steak and potatoes all day. It'll just be something ridiculous. And I'm like, dude, you're never going to stick with that. And he's like, no, I'm going to do it this time. And then I'll ask him 7 days later how it's going. And he's like, well, man, I've fallen off the wagon. I'm like, yeah, I always tell people, set a goal and then chop it in half. I remember, I don't remember who I was talking to. It was on my old show. But that's what the guy, he was like, half your goal. Especially when it comes to fitness. It
depends on who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, are you setting a reasonable goal?
Yeah, if you're already training 3 days a week and you're like, I want to start training 4 or 5 days a week, that's realistic. But if you are doing nothing, let's just say 3 days a week.
Yeah.
And not something wild. I'm going to do a 40, 30, 45-minute workout 3 days a week. That is a good goal for somebody that is not doing anything. So, no, I like it, man. I like it. I went back and listened. And I did okay on the goals. So for 25, one of the first ones was reduced tomato plants at the farm store, because we did like 250 tomato plants in 24, and it was horrible. And so we planted like 50 in 25. And I can't say that they, my original reasoning was if I plant less, I can take better care of them. And we've kind of figured out the spot where we put them was just not very good. So we're going to put them in a different spot, but I'm going to stick with that. And I'm going to say, so we hit that goal because we did drastically reduce the tomato plants. And we're going to keep them low. We kind of grow the tomatoes basically for the salsa. We don't necessarily grow the tomatoes to sell tomatoes.
Right.
Like, we grow them more for the products that we make. So we hit that goal. I don't plan on doing the 250. The only reason I want to do a lot is because we have that bad to the bone water wheel transplanter. And like, you get to running that thing, and you actually want to end up planting like 2,000, because you can just keep planting them. So you can get kind of ahead of yourself with that thing. But the next one was drastically increase the sauerkraut. I'm trying to remember how many we did this year. The previous year, I think we had done like 300 jars in 24. We sold out. This year, I think we did probably 600. I said 1,000 on the podcast. We did not get to 1,000 jars because I actually just ran out of cabbage. But we did probably 600 and something jars, and we sold completely out. So we did double our output, but we just ran out of cabbage. So I do want to, I would say we did drastically increase the amount. I did not hit the 1,000 mark. We bought a 30 crock, and it was funny. We were talking about in that episode, like the numbers. There's a 10, a 12, 30s, 50s. And we were like, is that liters? It's gallons. That's how they measure it. And so I bought a 30, which is just a monster.
I was about to say 30 gallons, yes.
It is huge. And it probably weighs 150, maybe 200 pounds. Like, I was on Facebook Marketplace, and Marcy actually sent it to me on Facebook Marketplace. And I was like, that is what we need. And it was like in great shape. And I went and looked at it, and
did you lowball the hell out of them?
No. Which they had a low price. Like, dude, there's guys that would sell a 30 for probably $1,000, and I think I gave like, I honestly, they were only asking like $200.
You should have been like $25.
It's like, I'll give you $200, but you're gonna pay me $50 for me having to ship it and drive it back to my
transport.
Transport, I'm gonna need 50 from you.
You got to fill it halfway with cabbage. I get
fill it with cabbage, and I'll buy it. So I bought it. Well, I got to researching the age on it, and it was almost, I think it was close to 100 years old.
Oh wow, yeah, that's got some antique value, even if it doesn't even have any functional value.
Yeah, well, it has no functional value. And it doesn't leak. I cleaned it up. I cleaned it with like vinegar and did all the thing. No leaks. Like, the ceramic is still good. Like, the fact that it was still in good shape was really shocking. The dude was using it for like a huge flower pot. And I cleaned this thing up. Well, I got to researching. And those that old, a lot of times had lead in them.
Oh.
And so it was like, if it's got lead in it, you obviously can't use it to prepare food.
Well, you could.
Yeah, I could. So I bought some little lead swab things where you get them wet and you rub it in there, and immediately it popped for lead. So we got a 30-gallon crock that just...
You're going to use it for a flower pot.
It's a flower pot, yeah. And I was like, damn it, because we could have gotten, dude, a 30-gallon crock. Oh, man, you could have made...
I need to bring you the one I've got. I think I mentioned that last
You did.
week because we're not going to use it. And
is it pretty big?
Yeah, it's not going to be 30 gallons. It's maybe 10.
See, 10's a good size. We actually use 10s and 12s.
I can, I need to find it because it was my father-in-law's because he used it.
Yeah.
I just need to know. I'll look for that this afternoon. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. So we did drastically increase our kraut. Did not hit 1,000. Now, all right, now this next one was an interesting one. So I said on there that I wanted my equipment cost per acre to be $80 in 2025. I did not hit that in 2025 because I basically had to limp along with what I had. So, and I'm going to share these numbers. And I guess as I'm going, I'm going to kind of also share my 26 goals. So in terms of the tomato plants, we're going to stay basically the same. In terms of the sauerkraut, I want to still double from that. I would actually 1,200 to honestly
1,200 quart jars.
Yeah.
Yep.
And honestly, maybe even 2,000. Like the sauerkraut we know is proven. So it's like, if we can get the cabbage, we can drastically increase. So I want to continue to double or triple the sauerkraut. Now on the equipment costs, and this is one that we've talked about, like we had our buddy on here that works in the industry, and he was talking like that, you know, if you can get around that $60 an acre range, that's usually the most profitable operators. I think $50 to $60. So in 24 and in 25, my equipment cost per acre was probably about $118 an acre. And I've looked, and the average equipment cost in the country is around $120 to $130 an acre. So I was right there at the average. But you have no room for error at that when you're at that point. And my problem was being a young operator, I've had to buy equipment. So I haven't had a chance to pay equipment off.
Well, right. And there's two ways to get that cost per acre down. One is you just have a whole lot more acres to spread it out over.
Yep.
But the problem there is the more acres you have,
the more equipment you need.
Or, you either run a lot of cheaper equipment or just less equipment. You know,
yep.
You got to do one or the other. More acres or less money.
Yep.
Total.
So for 25, I said I wanted to be at $80 an acre. I guess actually, I was going to say I didn't hit that, but technically, if you count December 31st or the last week of December, my equipment cost per acre right now is $73 an acre.
But is that all just because of selling the track hoe?
I sold my sprayer, which was a huge thing. And I've basically linked back up with Dad. Like me and him talked, and it is good for both of us to run together. Like he gets the benefit of my planter, he gets the benefit of my combine. I get the benefit of his sprayer, and then I also get the benefit of his combine and planter. But then they get the benefit of my other truck and trailer. So like it's mutually beneficial for us to run together. And so in doing so, I mean, together we work enough ground. We don't work so much ground that one sprayer can't do it.
Okay.
So I sold my sprayer and got rid of the sprayer. I actually paid off two headers, both of my headers this year. I had the last payment on those. Paid those off. My bush hog, paid it off this year. Like several pieces of equipment got paid off. And then selling the track hoe, it was paid for, but it just helped me in terms of trying to chip away at this mountain of debt that I currently have. But really paying off a few things and selling the sprayer has got it down to where I'm at $73 an acre. I've got two more pieces of equipment that I'm trying to get moved. If I can get those moved, like I think I can, then I will actually be sitting at $52 an acre equipment cost for 2026. My plan by the end of 2026 is to have my equipment cost right in that $50 range. I want to be there, and I want to stay in the $50 range. And I may have shared on here, like my goal is to get to where essentially I have one large equipment note due every year. Like you have to upgrade equipment. Like stuff gets so clapped and wore out that like it ends up costing you efficiency and repairs. Yeah. And so like a combine, you don't always have to have a new combine, but you want a reliable combine. I mean, with the volatility of our weather, we've had good harvests the last 2 years in terms of weather, but man, it wasn't that many years ago. We were cutting beans still right now.
Yeah. And
so like those are the years where you can't afford to be broke down for multiple days. Like you need to be able to run. And so you're going to have a payment of some sort. My goal and I guess honestly, my equipment costs would actually probably come all the way down to that $30 range if I can be disciplined enough to get to where I have one large payment. Then it would be probably about $30 an acre, which would just be, I mean, that would be crushing it if I can get it down that low. But the fact that I've got it down to $73 an acre right now, I'm pretty stoked. That probably, you know, my issue, and I've been very open about this last year, trying to roll the debt from 24, and, you know, went and looked at that emergency loan. They were like, man, you just don't cash flow. I would venture to say on paper now, I probably cash flow. So like from a lending standpoint, it's like, okay, this guy's got a little, he can last, because I was doing some digging. I may not get into it this episode, maybe next episode, but you know, the trick to lasting as a farmer, do you know what the phrase is, or whatever they say?
What's that?
The person that can afford to lose the most money, or that can lose money for the longest, is the one who can stay in the game.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate reality with farming. It's like, you're going to have some good years sprinkled in the mix, but you're going to have years of losses. And it don't matter how prepared you are, in a sense, like you're still going to lose money. So it's like, if you want to last as a farmer, you have to be able to sustain and survive those years of losses.
You want to be ready when those years inevitably come.
Yes. So that was $73 an acre. I'm going to say I hit that because we got in there right at the last week or so of December. $200 an acre or less on bean inputs. I think I said in 24, I spent $275 an acre. So I did not hit $200 an acre or less. My input cost, it was down. I spent about $224 an acre. So it was down from $275. Going into 26, I'm going to set the bar pretty high here. I want $175 an acre or less. So we're going to chip it down even harder. So $175 an acre or less on bean inputs.
So and what specifically, I mean, cheaper seed, less fertilizer?
You're kind of locked in on the seed. You know, the seed's going to be kind of what it's going to be. There might be a little cheaper, but the chemicals and, you know, fertilizer to a degree, but you got to feed it, but just more intelligently fertilize, which I soil sample everything, but just very strategic fertilizer plans. Yeah, this is where I've always encouraged guys, you know, work with an agronomist. So that's a big one.
Yeah, figure out where you can afford to cut back without significantly hurting your yield. What money you really need to spend versus what's.
Yes, it's I
won't say unnecessary, but maybe not quite as necessary.
Well, and rather than just saying, man, I want, you know, we've shared this many times, like rather than just saying, I want huge yields, it's like, what's going to actually give me the best ROI? And there's a sweet spot in there. Like, you know, I don't need to cut 100 bushel beans, but I also don't need to cut 30 bushel beans. So like you want to kind of be in that midpoint. And if you can get that, even that 45 bushel bean range, and where you're not spending a fortune on the crop, like you probably would come out pretty good.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my goal. I'm saying 175 or less on that, which is, it should be doable. Corn, I didn't set any corn goals, but I'm trying to really cut the corn cost down too, which one of the nice things on behind corn, beans, you don't have to do much fertilizing the year following corn. So I actually had more corn this year than I did beans, or in 25. So my fertilizer cost this year now should be substantially cheaper. So got that. Sell the deer 200. That was one of my goals. I sold it. I mean, last episode I was talking about selling it. So we hit that goal. And then I got a couple that are non-farm. So the first one was bench and squat 405. So I did hit the squat. I squatted 405. Bench, I got to probably 350, which a 405 bench is a pretty damn, when you get up into, I've realized once you get up into that 330, 340, 350 range, it's a slow game to get up there. 405 is still that's a big ass bench press. So I'm going to say for 2026, I want to squat by December, if my knee is still stupid over here, but I would like to squat 500 pounds and I'd like to bench press. I'm going to still say 405.
Yeah.
I think by the end of this year, I should be benching 405 and squatting 500 pounds. So, I mean, they're lofty, but the squat, only thing hindering me there would be my knee. But I'll blow it out if I got to, I guess. So then the other, kind of like you said, I said, for 2025, I guess I had put a goal in there, just survive. And I mean, essentially, as brutal of a year as it was, unless something drastic happens, I'm going to be rocking and rolling again in 2026. So I guess I survived 2025. And then the last was surpass farm income with off farm, be non-reliant on row crop. So just not need the row crop to be my living income. And I did not do that one. We had the farm store. It made us a little money, but it did not surpass what I would need from the row crop. So did not hit that goal. Hit most of the goals. But then the last one actually was the podcast. We said we wanted 1,000 ratings, I think, total, and we're at like almost 800.
Yeah.
So we didn't quite get to the 1,000, but I mean, 800 ratings is pretty darn good. But I think we should still look. We need to hit 1,000 ratings. Like, get us to 1,000 for 2026.
Y'all help us out.
Help us get there. And I don't know, man. I just think, as far as the off-farm income goes, for me, I'm still putting that in there for 2026. I just want to be non-reliant on the farm for my living income. Kind of like Bobby Lee said, we have started to see there is major potential with this show. The thing about our show that makes it a little more challenging is we aren't changing the show, and we are not a corporate friendly podcast. We talked about Richard Gere shoving gerbils up his butthole a few episodes back. So, like, the big companies, they ain't gonna sponsor some guys like us, which is fine. We're okay with that. Like, we don't want to sanitize the show, because I mean, you guys like the way the show is. We like the way the show is.
Yeah.
So we have no plans of sanitizing the show whatsoever. So that makes us a little more difficult to sponsor until we find the correct sponsors.
Yeah.
Like AgZag.
Like AgZag has been great. Yeah.
Yep. And so, I mean, there is really big potential. I mean, Bobby Lee and I both will be, it is for sure confirmed. We will be.
Yeah, a week from, as we sit here, a week from when this podcast comes out, we'll be on an airplane, or at least on the way to the airport.
Yep.
When it comes out that morning. We'll be in Anaheim the second weekend of January. So anybody happens to be there, I guess it's Saturday afternoon at the trade show. We'll be doing a live show. So
yeah, at the cultivator stage.
Man, I know I have all that info in my email. Right now, I just know I got to get to the airport, get on the plane, that sort of stuff.
Cultivator
we'll
stage, I believe.
I've never been to the convention. I would assume we won't be hard to find.
Yeah,
I mean, but it's part of the trade show. Sitting up there and doing a little live show. And I thought about, because we had always said, we need to get to some of these things, and now this one kind of fell in our lap pretty quickly and coming together very quickly. Be our goal to get to a few more of these events, and whatnot, kind of making our presence known, broadening our audience, because the audience is growing greatly, and that's how we kind of got this opportunity. Is we were somebody had recommended us, but yeah, getting to, I know we talked about National Farm Machinery Show, but some of those other events, like making time.
Yeah, like the Commodity Classic would be a great one to go to. And there's
when and where is that one?
The Commodity Classic. It's in Iowa or Illinois.
Does that one change every year?
To be honest with you, I don't remember. I just know that's a big one, and I know there's some.
I'm looking it up.
There's some cattle ones we need to go to as well, and we're obviously we like to blast NCBA, but one of the things we said, going to these things doesn't necessarily mean that you're not endorsing everything. It's just it's a stage. And
Commodity Classic might be tough.
What is that one?
It's, dang it. little banner flash. San Antonio, which I would love to go to San Antonio.
Is it in December?
February.
Oh, geez.
It'd be like if we do make it, which I know you're definitely planning on going to National Farm Machinery Show. It's like 2 weeks after National Farm Machinery Show.
What are the dates?
25th through 27th of February.
Yeah. It would be a good one to go to.
Yeah. It would have to almost, for me, be something like the Farm Bureau deal where it came together real quickly. Got down there, got back. Because, like, if I go to San Antonio, that was actually one of the places that I floated out there to my kids. Like, go down there for spring break. So obviously, down south, it's good weather. Just never been. I've always heard it's a pretty cool city.
Yeah, I've never been. Yeah,
I was actually wanting to go, and it just dates don't work out for the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo.
Yeah,
I was like, if it just so happens to work out where the rodeo's going on during our spring break, but it's not. Like I would have probably tried to talk them into doing that rather than the snow skiing. But
yeah, well, I don't know. We'll see. See, I'm not a fan of traveling. Like I just don't like traveling. But
I like it. I like the
build up to it. We've said, but then when it gets there, I'm anxious as hell.
Like, well, and I do all right once I'm there. Once I've got everything back home, sorted out as far as who's going to take care of the animals and and all that's kind of handled. The spring break trip is going to make me a little nervous just because that is during calving season.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, but it's kind of one of those things like kids are only here once. Kids are only young once. Like, I don't want to look back 20 years from now and be like, well, we never did anything ever on spring break with the kids, but by golly, I was home to make sure that the cabin went smoothly. I don't. Yeah. Hopefully we don't have any train wrecks. And like I say, between my buddy PJ and my dad and my brother, just pray that they don't have to have a bunch of cabin problems while I'm gone. And, if we do,
and you know what?
The sun will still come up the next day.
I was going to say, it'll be all right. I mean, we want to definitely, because one of the things we've shared on this show, largely this show is grassroots. Like,
oh yeah, almost entirely. Yeah.
Yeah. I just saw, and I don't want to say our competition because I don't necessarily consider other ag shows like our competitors, but one of the other people in the sphere here, man, their show, they were actually being advertised on Times Square. Like they had a video basically on Times Square promoting
video screens. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow, no wonder their exposure is huge because they're spending an ungodly amount. I can't imagine what that would cost. Like that's got to be insanely expensive. And see, anybody can do that. Like I was talking to my buddy John, I was telling him about it, and he said, it's just something about people see like, oh, this show's promoted on Times Square. He was like, so it makes you look like you're more legit. But he said, if you got the money, anybody can buy a slot there.
Yeah.
Our problem is we just don't have the funds to buy a slot at Times Square.
Well, I don't even know that would be because I know which one you're talking about, and their kind of target audience is probably a little broader than ours.
Yeah.
And probably maybe a little more likely to see it
in Times Square.
I doubt a lot of our listeners, y'all can tell me if I'm wrong,
are walking around in Times Square.
Yeah, on a regular basis.
No, that's true. Ours would need to be at like the Oklahoma Stockyard. Do they have like a video?
Pretty much all those the big sale barns and stockyards, have like posters and stuff. Kind of like you see like at the gym at local high school, or it's like such and such. Like just
we need to start sponsoring those.
Yeah, like hey, listen to us. Yeah, but hey, that's why I was sharing the show, talking about the show. When we put something out there on social media. Sharing it with other people, that sort of stuff. We say something neat in an episode. Every now and then I'll send a podcast to somebody and be like, hey, you need to listen to this. Hey, when folks do that with our show, that's
huge.
Yeah, absolutely huge.
Yep. All right, you had a person that sent you a question.
Yeah,
I got to turn this heater off. I'm baking in here.
I went and picked up some bacon just a minute ago. I had got a half a hog and they called me yesterday to say it was ready, and I was like, well, it's like, I'm sure y'all aren't working tomorrow. They're like, no, we'll be working. I was like, oh, hell yeah, New Year's Day. They're getting after it. Well,
and a shout out to our homies at Mount Zion Bakery. They're open today.
Really?
Yeah, and she was open New Year's late last night and going to be open all day today. So
that's fantastic. But yeah, our buddy Nick, He actually sent me several. So basically, Tucker Carlson, probably most everybody's familiar with, does the Tucker Carlson show. He's got his own network now since Fox, I guess they fired him.
Yeah.
I'm a big Tucker fan. Don't follow him maybe as closely now, but I agree with him on most what he says. But I did a good thing because they're putting out all these short clips, Instagram Reels, basically. I'm sure it's on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, wherever else too.
Yeah.
Of the interview. And, we had that when we had Ben from Good Ranchers on, that went.
It's still getting good, gosh.
Viral. And people getting all fired up. And we kind of point out to me, hey, how about you listen to the whole show so you get the full context? So I practiced what I preached. I went ahead and listened to the full episode, and not to get too deep into it. Basically, he's interviewing this guy who actually sponsors his show, which is a little bit conflicting.
Okay.
But they do put that disclaimer out there. And this guy has a veterinary telemedicine company that he's like the CEO of, which as a veterinarian, I think that's a bad idea. I don't part of me's like, I don't care. But that is, in some states, it's not allowed.
Really?
So basically, like, your dog is sick or you got a problem, instead of you going to the vet, you pay for their service where you can call and talk to a vet, which I'm like, what percentage of problems do I see on a daily basis at our clinic
that you could diagnose it and know over the phone?
Diagnose and treat and actually do somebody some good over the phone.
Yeah.
And it's not very many, very, very few. And there are some very unique ones maybe, but most of the time, like, that's just gonna be a waste of money because it's, you do that and then you're, then because people call and message us all the time, and I encourage them to, and I'm like, yeah, you need to bring it in.
Yeah.
And I say that, like, I hesitate to even say that some days. I'm like, if there's any way I can keep them from having to come in, I want to, because we're too damn busy.
Yeah.
But anyway, Nick specifically got into the first part of the question was, it was actually revolving around, they had made a comment that private equity groups, big corporations, are buying up a lot of vet clinics. And apparently that's happened in his area. It doesn't surprise me. We get offers on almost a daily basis, whether it's a phone call, an email, a flyer in the mail, like some big corporation.
Hey,
like,
we want to buy your business.
Yeah, would you be interested in selling? And they go straight to the trash. We have no interest in that.
Bobby Lee says for $1 billion.
Yeah. It's like when I know you get the same phone calls, like random people cold calling you, hey, we'd like to talk to you about your farm. Would you be willing to sell it? I'm always like, yeah, but I can go ahead and tell you anything less than 10,000 an acre, and we ain't even talking.
I just did that the other day. I had one. This was just funny. I'll share really fast. That ground I got in Bolton, there's like a 1.2 acre triangle that's across the road that I own, and it's just trees growing up. There's even telephone poles that go through it. So like, it's totally, you can't do anything with it. And I got a text probably a month ago, and they're like, hey man, we want to buy your 1.2 acres, whatever. And they offered me $40,000. And I was like, I would sell it for $40,000 because it's just 1.2 unproductive acres. And they're like, okay. And so we went back and forth. And this, again, I used ChatGPT. I would take their offer and I sent it to them. I was like, from a legality standpoint, how does this sound? And it was like a lot of red flags. And so they sent me a DocuSign contract to sell it. And I said, send me the contract, I'll review it. We had gone back and forth. And so they sent me the contract and I reviewed it. Well, essentially what they do is they lock you into a contract that basically has no deadline. They give no earnest money, and they actually are not the buyers. They will then shop it around to try to find somebody that will pay it. And it's kind of, and what they probably would do is they would get that person to basically pay like 60 grand, and then I would get 40 grand. So they're going to make some money off of it. But I sent the DocuSign contract to ChatGPT. It ran through it and was like, here's the adjustments you need to make. And I asked for like earnest money. I set a deadline, made it where they had to be the buyer and all this. They never responded.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I never get, and a lot of times I just tell them no.
Well, a lot of times they're low balls too.
Yeah.
It'd be like 100 acres. They'll be like, we'll give you $87,000 for your 100 acres. It's like, no.
Yeah. Well, and Nick's specific point on that one was, it's like, that the non-compete clauses that they then have with their vets, and that's pretty standard. Like any.
How long?
I'm embarrassed to say I'm not even sure what the one is at our clinic. But the whole thing with non-competes, just about anybody will tell you, they don't hold up. Like they don't even really matter.
What do y'all have one, like if somebody leaves the clinic?
Yeah, like say one of my associates says, screw you guys, I'm quitting. And they want to open up a practice right across the road.
Yeah.
Like I think ours is, and again, they're so like, they don't even really matter because they don't hold up in court. I know a bunch of people that have challenged theirs or just totally ignored theirs and nothing happens. Like they don't hold up. Now, I would say if you're working for one of these, say the clinic you're working at gets bought out by a corporate group and then you're unhappy there, which happens oftentimes, and then you leave, those huge ass corporations may be a little more willing to really try to put the screws to you.
Because they probably got lawyers on staff.
Yeah. But he said one of the problems is that they've had a lot of trouble because, say, his vet would leave that practice, I think was kind of the scenario he had been in, and then they can't then still come out and do work for him because they have a non-compete. I don't know. Yeah, it's like I say, it matters so little to us just in our practice. Like we have a standard contract that we have for all our other vets.
Yeah.
And we pretty much tell them, like, here's a contract. If you want to sign it and like get it notarized, make everything official, that's fine with us. From our perspective, we're not going to hold you to like, like
you're really not that worried about it.
Right. The non-compete part, not really at all. And even the other terms, like, look, we've agreed what we're going to pay you, all the benefits and all that, like all that's, very standard. Like if you want to go through the whole, and I think back in the day, Dad may have been a little more strict about like, oh yeah, we're both going to sign it. But it just, I don't know. Maybe we're a little too trusting, but still, it's in my best interest to keep them very happy.
Yeah.
And it's in their best interest. It's a mutually beneficial relationship. I don't know. Maybe we get burned one day. But as far as specifically the non-competes, I don't know. Part of me is like, if somebody's like, no, I can't come out and work on your cows because I got a non-compete with that clinic. Maybe that clinic has a history of really, holding your feet to the fire on those things. I don't know. Part of me is like, that may just be an excuse where they're not wanting to come out.
Yeah.
But that whole interview, if anybody has listened to it, which of course my algorithm, because it was probably vet related, it popped up. Basically I listened to the whole interview. The only thing I agreed with, and I actually felt bad later because I shared that one part of it where he's basically attacking how private equity ownership of vet clinics is bad for the industry. And I agree with him 100% on that. That was just about the only part of that entire 52-minute interview
that you agreed with him
on. They were ridiculous. They were like, oh yeah, you go into the vet and they say your dog needs his teeth cleaned. It's $5,000. Like, buddy, I don't know. That guy, I don't know if he still lives in California, but he's actually from like Uzbekistan or somewhere, but grew up in California. Like, okay, in California, all right, everything's going to cost twice as much. A standard dental, like at our practice, like even if your dog's old, needs the blood work beforehand, and, we're taking a few extra steps, like 10% of that, like $500.
Yeah.
Like, and you might get out cheaper than that. Like I can't even imagine a world in which a dental costs $5,000. Like, your dog had like a broken jaw. Like it wasn't just getting his teeth cleaned.
Yeah.
Like in a standard dental, like we're pulling a few teeth here and there, but like you were getting like, no, that was an extreme exaggeration. And then of course Tucker's like, well, my dogs will never get their teeth cleaned. Well, like, all right, look, bigger dogs, can a lot of times get away with it. Sometimes some dogs just, they have naturally really great genetics and they're good, whatever. I disagreed with almost everything, including, now I don't, like as far as from my perspective, I don't see like the telemedicine being a huge threat to my brick and mortar practice. Cause I'm like, what can you actually even accomplish on a telemedicine call? Like, maybe if you're talking about like behavioral problems in a pet, because a lot of that's more talking. There's not much I do with my hands-on examination that can really sort out why your dog has separation anxiety or why it's scared of thunderstorms.
Yeah.
My buddy Matt did point out some end-of-life discussions where people are like, is it time to put my dog down? Then there's certainly some things you can find on physical that are like, yep, this problem can't be fixed. It's only going to get worse. But a lot of that is just talking people through it.
Yeah.
So maybe there.
What about if like you wanted to get your dog cocaine?
Yeah, I mean, a phone call, I can real quickly advise you that is not a good idea.
No, not a good idea.
Not a good idea.
If they're at the end of the line, no,
we don't deal with that's one thing. I don't know that we've ever had a
person ask for that,
or seen a dog for possible like cocaine toxicity.
Yeah.
Now, weed, THC, we see those all the time.
where they eat somebody's weed.
Yeah.
Is the dog like super chill, or are they like paranoid as hell?
Man, sometimes they know and they come in the door and they tell you exactly, and yeah, they're just kind of zoned out of it. And other times you're like, yeah, is there any possibility this could have happened? Because
Are they reluctant to tell you?
sometimes I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
One, I'm not the police. Two, I don't even know that you can get in trouble for having weed, or if you can, it's not much anymore.
Yeah.
In Tennessee, it's still illegal, I think.
Yeah. They're like, it's some toot. Had some toot, and the dog got into it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. As soon as you admit that your dog, yeah, we had some weed and he got into it, I'm not.
You're like Chris Hansen on To Catch a Predator. You got like the police waiting outside for him.
I got a cop like waiting outside. They admitted it. Get in here.
Yeah.
Throw them. No, we don't knock on anybody like that. Yeah, no, I've never had a cocaine ingestion that I know of. But yeah,
That's interesting.
I
I'm
don't
almost
see it.
surprised.
But they kind of went after the AVMA, which is American Veterinary Medical Association, and then they were like, they're trying to limit the number of vet schools. And
All right, I
like,
saw that part. That seemed pretty
I'm
retarded.
like, I don't think that's true at all. I know they have challenged some schools that are trying to skirt around, like having a veterinary teaching hospital on site. And I would actually agree with that. I don't know how you get a decent veterinary education from a school that does not have a teaching hospital. That's my opinion. But there's actually several new universities. I'm pretty sure Arkansas State in Jonesboro, which will actually be the closest geographically to us.
Yeah.
And I believe Murray State in Kentucky has a school in the works. I'm like, bring it on. We need more vets.
Yeah.
I need more vets. We're actually right now, today, as it stands, not actively trying to hire another vet, but if all of a sudden I had,
I've been thinking about going.
do it. We'll hire you. I mean, if it all of a sudden we had plenty of vets out there needing jobs, yeah, we would consider. I don't know what my brother or my dad would be. He throws me about having a second location because we're already.
I've wondered if y'all would ever consider like a franchise.
Well, and I don't want to go corporate, but like just us, still family owned, having a second location. If I knew I could keep it adequately staffed, I would. But the vets are just one part of that.
Yeah.
I mean, we have, if you count my dad, we have 6 vets, but we have a staff of, over 25.
Yeah.
And so I open up another location, say with 2 vets there. Well, then that means I've got to have another 7, 8, 10 people.
What would
and it's hard to hire right now. Nobody wants to work.
What would some of these? This is for my own wondering, and I'm sure our listeners wonder this too. What would like one of these corporate companies? What kind of money would they try to throw at y'all to buy it?
Well, and that's what makes it tricky. And I think the bubble burst a little bit, but 8, 10 years ago, that's the whole thing. Folks would tell me, or I'd heard this, like if you, let's say you're not really interested in selling, but you're tired of them bugging you. You're like, fine, come into town. We'll go to dinner one night. Make me an offer. Like, don't do it because
it's going to be a big offer.
They're going to blow you away with an offer. Whatever you think maybe you've had an official appraisal done on your practice. Whatever you think it's worth, they're going to offer you well in excess of that and make you a deal you can't refuse. Because the business is profitable, and typically what those corporate groups do, as soon as they buy you, they're going to have a price increase. And, and I know a lot of people out there like, man, vet care costs just way too much. And especially like if you get to the specialty level, like I do, because we have to recommend all the time, something's terribly sick, terribly injured, hey, you really need to go see a specialist. And I'm like, but I hate to even tell you what they're going to quote you as far as an estimate. But
like a clinic, like, because see, I'm looking at this from the lens of when I was machining, one of the shops that I worked at, that dude had started 2 shops that he had sold. And that was kind of, in machining, that's kind of what a lot of guys tried to do. You tried to start a business, a machine shop, grow it to a pretty big level, and then you could sell it for $20 million. And that's what, like, he had actually done this twice.
Well, and I know of vets that do that. which of course those corporates definitely you have to sign a non-compete, and
Yeah.
usually like
Could you move to like a different state and start?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
but
like y'all's clinic, like I'm just curious, what would like $20 million?
oh, I don't think it'd be that much, or I'd probably not be a veterinarian anymore. I don't think the money's that life-changing.
Yeah.
I really don't know, and I don't even want to know because I mean,
So you don't want to go to dinner with them because they would be like, we'll give you $20 million.
not at this point in my career, not even close, because I mean, our practice has existed for a year longer than I've been alive.
Yeah.
We've been there 43 years, it'll be 44 now that we're in 26. And so and typically what they'll do, like, let's say if we did tomorrow, we're like, yep, we're selling. They'll lock us in to where we have to work for them
For a
certain
couple of
period
years or
time.
something, yeah.
Because, which our practice is, not as tied into that, because we do have 3 other vets that work for us that aren't partners.
Yeah.
But a lot of them, there's 2 partners that are selling out, and they've only got 1 other vet that works for them. So if they sold out, then they're like, peace, I'm gone.
Then the company's gone.
Yeah, because then now you went from being 3 doctor practice on 1 doctor.
And they did that on the machine shop side. When he sold, he had to stay for like a year, and then actually his there was 2 people that worked with him that they actually were required to stay for like 2 years or something.
Yeah, and I'm sure. I mean, I've never even explored it. Have no intentions anytime in the, I don't know, very distant future to do so. But yeah, I'm sure it depends on which corporate group buys you out. But you're locked into, I think a lot of times it's 2 or 3 years, and of course they're paying you to work, and then they're also paying you the
full sum.
Yeah. And then, I'm sure there's then a non-compete that I can't just immediately open up another clinic right across the road.
Yeah.
As soon as that would be really tough for me. Like, I mean, emotionally, it would just, because like my parents started that practice year before I was born. Like, to sell it would, oh man. And then then having to go to work for them. Yeah. I would literally have a countdown clock on when it expired, when I would no longer have to do that. Yeah. And, and again, I don't, because this is just me sitting here today. The second it hit 0, I'd be like, deuces.
See, that's the thing. That's what I've always.
But I'm not young, or I'm not old enough to retire, so I'm nowhere near. And I don't think the money that they would pay me would be enough for me to retire at this point. Like, yeah. I mean, it's just I just don't have, and I enjoy what I do.
Well, see, that's what I've thought about. Like, I worked for 2 years as a machinist. So whenever I left, like I worked for the farm, then I left, was a machinist for 2 years, and then got back to farming. And so I did that like working for somebody thing for 2 years, and I hated it with a passion. So like that's why I'm at the point, even with farming. I mean, I was talking yesterday to our crop insurance man. We were just talking, and I was like, man, as crazy as it sounds, like even this media world is something, there's huge potential there. And so it's like I would lean in hard even on that. I never plan to quit farming at all. Like I love to farm. I just like to farm. But like at this point in my life, I have been farming now like on my own for 11 years. And so like the thought of going to like a regular job where I have somebody telling me what to do, I can't even imagine. Yeah. Like I just can't even imagine it.
Well, one of the big selling points, a lot of veterinarians are notoriously terrible at the business side of things. And so that's what, they'll find somebody roughly my age who's not nearly ready to retire. But they're like, we'll take the stress of the business ownership and the management.
You can just
side.
Enjoy the vet practice.
Just enjoy taking care of animals.
Yeah.
And they tug at people's, kind of emotions there or whatever. But yeah, I would warn corporate ownership of veterinary practices, and a lot of you listening, you the vet clinic you use may be corporately owned, and you may not even know it, because depending on the group, some of them don't change anything. Now, a good sign that all of a sudden it's been bought out is usually prices go up. Some other things may change. But yeah, as far as there's I know some local vets that they've sold a practice, kind of let the non-compete expire, started another one, sold it. But it's
Oh, dude, that guy that I worked for, he is extremely wealthy, and that's what he does. He has now started either his third or fourth machine shop now, and every time he just start. Now this one, at the age he's at, you know, this one that he started now is actually like what he's passionate about. Like the stuff that they're making is actually what he cares about making. Like in our area, medical machining is everything. Like in Memphis, Bartlett.
Memphis is really well known for that. Yeah.
It is. I mean, and we made, you know, I still kick around. Like I always wanted to, when I went to tech school for it, I wanted to be the you know, I was joking earlier about the Soldier of Fortune, but I wanted to be the Lord of War. I wanted to like get into DOD contracts and make like,
what's that? War Dogs?
War Dogs. Like I wanted
They
to.
weren't making anything. They were just.
Yeah, but I wanted to make it and go hop on the helicopters and like go help them. It's like sell. Let me make this a missile for you. And so I still like now I'm like, well, I got the medical machining background. We held insane tolerances. Like, you know, I'm like, man, if I built a bolt action rifle using the tolerances that we'd be used and that I'm used to holding, like it would be like such a surgical, I mean, I guess no pun intended, but like surgically accurate rifle. It'd be insane. It's the kind of rifle you would charge like, you know, it'd be like a $10,000 custom bolt action. And like, I still think like, man, it'd be so badass to do that. But at the same time, like, but how do you make any money in that? Like, it's such a, I feel like there's a lot of, like, that's a saturated market.
Yeah.
Like building guns and like even high end guns.
Well, like the custom gun market, like, because I have, again, like Instagram algorithm, like I got to following a few, and then all of a sudden, like there's custom
tons
gun
of
companies.
them.
I'm like, good Lord,
they're everywhere.
They're everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
which is cool. I love guns. But,
oh yeah.
But yeah, as far as getting into that market, like, oh yeah.
It'd be tough, but that's, you know, it is funny. I mean, I get those offers on the farm, and yeah, usually they're dramatically low, but I don't. I'm gonna say this. Like, I'm not gonna fault the guy that takes the deal, because until you've been there, you know, like people that want to blast people, like even I hate the solar panel things, like. But I got a really good landlord that I deal with, and he sold to them, and man, I can't be mad at the guy for it. It was a deal that made sense to him. I hate to see it. Like, I really hate to see it. It was great ground, but I'm not gonna like attack the dude for it, because until you're the guy that's sitting there and suddenly somebody comes up, like let's say farming, you got a 100-acre field and, you know, whatever, you're working this ground, you own it, and somebody comes up and is like, man, we'll give you $18,000 an acre to put panels on. We're going to put solar panels on it. We're going to give you $18,000. Dude, you know, you're like 100 acres. That's, what is that, 1.8 million? You know, like, and let's say you've had this farm for several years, you might owe 300,000 on it. So you're about to make 1.5 million. You're going to pay, you know, you're going to pay $200,000 or $300,000 on freaking taxes. But you'd walk away with 1 million, 1.2 million dollars. Like, for especially the position we're in agriculture right now, like you might be 300 grand in debt, and you're like, damn, how am I might be going bankrupt in another year. I might lose this farm in another year. And so suddenly it's like, okay, now I can eradicate all the debt, and yeah, I lose this farm, but like now I will be in a much stronger position to continue to farm. Like, I could continue to farm, or I could, you know, I can restructure and reposition. I'm not going to attack the guy. Like, I think that we have a very romantic idea of, man, you know, you want to be the one that always holds out. But like,
yeah.
And I appreciate that. Like, out there where the solar panels are, the panels stopped, and they stopped because this one dude was like, I ain't selling. And there's just something cool about that. But at the same time, it's like, I can't be mad at my landlord that did sell, because it made sense to him to do so.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, and that's where, you know, we have no plans of selling anytime soon, but also I wonder about, you know, I mean, I ain't gonna live forever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna retire one day, you know, and I would love to be able to do what my dad has done, and have one of my kids or one of my nieces, you know, following footsteps, and I'm not burdened with having to sell it. I'm gonna pass it on, kind of thing. I shouldn't say burdened. But I guess, it would be more just the emotional side of selling it, because that's like, I've never lived a day of my life that it wasn't in our family.
Yeah.
And
Well, that'd be like our family. Imagine if like the farm got in such bad shape that like Circle H Farms, which is our dad's operation, like they were like, we're done. Like it's got to go. Like I can't imagine that. Like I said, as long as both of us have been alive, we've always just known that. So yeah, I couldn't imagine.
yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, it's man, the name of the game is survival right now. That's kind of where I'm at. But I am exploring other options to try to make some off-farm income and fight that battle. And there's y'all's insight into some veterinary side of things.
Yeah, so it was like I say, I disagreed with at least 90% of that interview. But yeah, corporate ownership in the veterinary world is not like most people I know that have worked in clinics that have sold. They leave pretty quickly because they're not happy. A lot of times just from the pet care, because again, costs a lot of times go up, and we have been notoriously bad about we don't. Our costs have lagged behind, like even just inflation, for a long time. But now we're at a point where, and a lot of it is because the corporate driven thing, they drove up, prices so much, and then what they're paying their employees, their vets, I have to compete against that.
Yeah.
That's the biggest competition I have with the corporates. It's not for clients. Like I've got all the clients I need.
Just to hire good help.
Yeah. And so we have to pay a lot more. And so then, prices have had to go up. And, I think still, pet care, it's, I mean, everything's relative. It's not cheap.
Yeah.
And we try to kind of tailor it to what our client, hey, you can't do the A+++ plan. You can't go see the specialist for this problem. Okay.
We got an axe back here. I can chop his leg off.
Well,
I'll strap a wheel to it.
That's maybe a little more brutal, but and that is a good example. Sometimes we see something with a terribly broken leg, and I'm like, I love to do some orthopedics. I cannot put that back together.
Yeah.
That's Humpty Dumpty. Right? We can't put him back together. Now there's a specialist that maybe can in Memphis.
Whether they cost you like $20,000.
I don't know of anything that'd be that much, but let's say a terribly shattered leg. It may be a $5,000-$6,000 surgery.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, and I don't blame them a bit. I'd say the majority of my clients would be like,
Yeah.
This isn't some, prize hunting dog that, I paid $10,000 for. Like, it's just yard dog. Like,
yeah. Man,
I'm like, okay, well, it's not the best. Plan B would be we can amputate that leg.
Yeah.
There's plenty of three-legged dogs out there that do great, and then we can do it for a fraction of that cost. They're like, yep, let's do that. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Or my dog's really sick, and I'm like, man, I really, this is something I can't figure out. You go to them, they can do some more advanced diagnostics. They're like, man, I just can't do that. I'm like, okay, well, here's plan B. I'm going to try a few things. We're going to do the best we can. We're going to kind of trial and error, see how it goes. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. We lay all the options out there, and hell, we may get down to plan C or D, and do the best we can, and we'll work with them. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go, man. You want to cue him up?
Our man, still our man in 2026.
If he's still alive.
We have to assume he is, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I got a cool one. I got a Christmas gift.
They have no idea or no incentive at this point to be doing the
Pretending.
Weekend at Bernie's thing. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to assume he's still alive.
All right.
We start off with 2 words: made in America.
All right. Check it out. Right on the front of their page.
Made in USA. That's how you know it's legit, because if it is, they're usually very proud of it.
Yep. So do you got one of these? Scrusher.
I don't.
So I got one of these for Christmas. It's a Scrusher boot and shoe cleaner. Now, for those of you, a lot of our listeners, I'm sure you're on the farm. I know Bobby Lee is Bobby Lee needs to actually mount one to the side of his Jeep. But for a lot of our listeners, you're wearing boots all the time. They get dirty as crap. Like we got chickens, I go in there, and so it's like all the time.
You don't want me tracking chicken shit in the house.
No, I would be.
Yeah.
I'd be in trouble. But they're really heavy. Like it's got like a weighted base.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
And you can like screw it down, but it's just heavy enough that, and it's made where you can step on the side as well. So like you can hold it down, but it's boot cleaner and it's like brushes, but it is made in USA. Like I said, that's the exact one I got right there. And I got it for Christmas, and like right on the box it said "Made in USA." So I was like, "Oh heck yeah, man!" And it is bad to the bone. Boot cleaner, just an insanely, an insanely usable product. And they actually bought it for me at Hat Ads. So they got it made in USA and up here at our local Hat Ads. And now Hat Ads, I hadn't looked. They have an online store. You might can order it from them. HDS Outdoors is their stuff. Let's see if you can. I'm curious if you can order this on their website, because that would just be really cool.
I knew they had a website, which of course I don't ever use it because I drive by the store like 4 times a day.
Yeah, well, that's how I am. I don't ever order anything, and it looks like it's mainly their website is largely for clothes. Like they have a ton of hunting clothes and apparel and work clothes and everything. But she got it up there at Hat Ads, so our local hardware store up here, and the Scrusher.
They're for our non-local. They're like the true like old. I don't say old fashioned, but like your kind of old fashioned department store.
Yep.
Like you don't see those really ever anymore.
No.
Like you got appliances, you got clothing, and they got hardware.
You've said it before on here. It'll be the most weird, obscure item, and you'll be like, "Ain't no way they have that." And you'll go, and they have that.
The only thing that they don't carry that you need is like firearms, and like groceries. Which our local Nafis is literally in the same shopping center with them. So yeah, like you can literally park in one spot and buy damn near anything you ever need other than a gun.
I've bought traps in there. You know, they got conibear traps. They got all kinds of traps like leg holds. I bought some of those.
It's crazy. Like you need to rent a tuxedo for a black tie event.
Yep.
You also need to patch a tire on your lawnmower, get some plumbing supplies for your house. One-stop shop.
I would say you can leave with a tux and a tire patch. Yeah. But yeah, check out the Scrusher. It's I think Red Wing may be partnered with them or something, but they're made in USA. They're bad to the bone. Also, guys, we do want you to hit that follow button. Leave us those ratings and reviews. Let's try to drive that up to 1,000. There's our goal. Hope you enjoyed our goal breakdown. I feel like we did better on our mind-numbing droning.
Yeah, hopefully so. Y'all let us know. If we didn't, comment.
Yeah, if you want us to if we did, super cut to the chase, then sure, tell us. We'll just cut out all the early.
This is Talk Dirt to Me. Here's our sponsor. Let's get to it.
Yep. So y'all do that, and we do have. I've got some orders that we got to fill. If you're listening, you're like, man, where's my order? You ordered like the day before Christmas or something. Like it. Really, that whole span from Christmas to now is almost like a dead period for doing any sort of shipping. Like our post office was shut down. So don't be mad at us. You'll get your orders. They'll be sent out probably tomorrow coming. And we do still have we still got shirts, still got a handful of hats and a couple of koozies left. Got in a new batch of stickers. So we'll be throwing stickers in the orders. If you got an order and it didn't have a sticker in there, it's because we ran out. But so there is new stickers. So go check out the store. Go to our website, talkdirtpodcast.com, contact page. Submit your questions in there. We got a few questions. We'll get those next week. And what else I need to do?
Check out agzaga.com. TalkDirt20 is the discount code you'll use at checkout. Take $20 off that $50 minimum order and get the free shipping.
Do it. Guys, hope you have an awesome new year. Let's make 2026 the best damn year yet.
That's right.
See y'all.